in.
Then it's in,
Yes,
isn't
the
it?
bell,
Yes.
and really and truly,
Yes.
you're better to just go in. And I personally think the helmets look great. There's some very interesting fashionable helmets, and this is one of the nicer ones.
Quite a bit of bling being added as well, I
Yes,
see,
there's
on some of them.
Nothing wrong with the bling. A very precise halt and positive salute. So I'm quite sure if you're a rider that might be feeling a little bit nervous, a good salute might cover it up.
I think it's once you head down the centre line, it's fine, isn't it? You're into it, yes.
That's right. That was a good entry.
Yeah. So this extended trot is improving as it progressed, a little unbalanced to begin with, but the steps became clearer and certainly out of the shoulder.
Yes.
It's important to keep the same energy, isn't it, Jan, and the same tempo?
Yes, yeah. This started, half past started quite well. She presented the mare really nicely into it.
And she's kept the position.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think probably good that she hasn't asked for more than the mare can give.
So it's correct, but ideally we'd like a little more energy and a bit more suspension.
A little bit more ground coverage. But she did ride the lines well, so I think that's really good. It's very attractive movement from the front too. You, as a judge from the front, you see it's very lovely to see the horses flowing across the arena, their legs crossing, big steps.
She's a beautiful neck, hasn't she? She's
actually
really
very nice mare.
Nice
she's
type,
in lovely condition, beautifully presented.
So the main ingredient with the extended trot is less hurry, more ground cover, and as soon as we add a little additional speed, then sometimes the balance can be lost. Very nicely into passage though.
Yeah, clear passage.
On the spot in this piaffe.
Yep.
Yes, the head.
A little, yes.
A bit unsteady, but
little
gosh.
unsteady.
Yes.
But she certainly stayed on the spot.
And the transition out again.
It was willing.
Yep, quite well balanced and very clean.
There's a good clear walk.
If you look at the footfalls, you can see that she's over-tracking probably by a hoof and a half, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's... I really quite like the walk.
Yes.
Just a moment in attention there, and it just goes to prove that horses really do notice their surroundings. But she came back quickly to Jami.
Clear change to the collected walk.
It looks from
steps are shorter, higher.
Good outline from here. I think she would be happy with the transition. Yes. Couple of little
little glitch here.
Miscommunications here, and
for the judges, it's always
trying really hard. Yeah.
Clever riding now to continue. The judges it's always easy when that sequence goes well, but when we have some problems, it's a case of waiting to see how the rider manages it, and she really did manage that. It was unfortunate, but she actually made the most of it at the end. And again, it's closed that movement off, isn't it?
Yeah, just that's right. And
that was lost.
Just that little bit of tension at first, which she was able to get back. Can we see a little bit of tension creeping in, and tight over the back? We never know what she actually saw when she had that moment's inattention, and perhaps it just put her off her game a little bit.
Seems to have recovered quite well now, I think. Yep. Back to clean.
Yes.
More ground covering changes.
Yes. You might say that the extended canter was modest, but it was probably safer to do that than upset her, and the change was a good clean change.
This is a very taxing movement for the riders, well, and the horses as well, isn't it, in that they have to be able to move their shoulders in front of the hindquarters. The shoulders usually lead, and unless the horse is carrying really well, it can be difficult. But it's also a difficult movement in that they're counting the steps as well before the change.
Yes, and that's it really requires a very supple horse, mentally and physically supple, to cope with the changes of direction. Go half pass as well as the flying change.
Yes, yep.
But the one times came off.
They did.
And again, the correct number of steps, but perhaps a little tense over the back, which did not allow the fluent movement around to come.
Okay, so this one a little bigger, but in
Yes.
fact a little calmer, smoother, and a bit more correct and softer, certainly
Yes.
softer with the bend.
And that's
Yeah.
a fine line riders face with. Do we aim for a completely on the spot pirouette, or do we allow a little bit more license and keep the horse a little softer?
So there'd be points in that for the rider that realised the first one probably was difficult and then allowed the horse a bit more space in the second one, and the result certainly paid off.
I like the outline of the horse as high in the pole, definitely in an uphill frame, which is what is one of the requirements of most of the movements.
Just keeping the rhythm here, but
Just
still
again slow to start,
yes,
but
that's
then,
right.
then getting some
Yes.
recognisable steps.
Perhaps a bit more suspension in that last passage, but in